Hello everyone, we're back and this is Siskiyou News and Views with Cindy Summers, and we're here covering all the things happening all around Siskiyou County. This week's show is Welcome to Yreka, and we have three wonderful guests who are representatives of the various government aspects of our community as well as community service with the Chamber. We have on our show today, we have Nixon, who is District 4 County Supervisor. We're going to have Joan Smith, who is the Mayor of Yreka, and we're also going to be speaking to Karl Greiner, who is the Executive Director of the Yreka Chamber of Commerce. So we're going to be starting today with Lisa. Lisa, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Cindy.
Now, we saw each other at the fair.
We did.
And you're new to the supervisor seat.
I am new to public office as a whole.
Okay, okay. Now, what inspired you to get involved at the supervisor level?
Well, as you may or may not know, I was born and raised here. I'm a fifth-generation Yrekan of all things. And I left for just a wee spell, like 40 years. And I have come back home, and it's the most wonderful decision I think I've ever made. So I tried to think of how I can give back to my community for raising me to be such a happy, wonderful person. And I decided that becoming a county supervisor might be one way that I could put my legal skills and my business experience to good use. And we'll see if that comes to pass.
Uh-huh. So you've been since you're coming on the first year, right?
Yes. 7 months down.
Uh-huh. And what's your biggest challenge so far?
Ooh, I think my biggest challenge would be to research the various issues that affect our county, and that is something I love doing. So for me, that's not challenging. I think maybe, and I've also discovered some very wonderful things about our county and the people who live here. The ways in which we help each other and support each other are really phenomenal, more so than you see in an urban area. Mm-hmm. So I think my biggest challenge is also I'm seeing some ways in which we don't support each other. I hope that we can all emphasize civil, evidence-based discourse to work through our differences and respect one another and come to mutual decisions at the end of the day.
Uh-huh. Now, are you finding that's with the general constituents that you're dealing with in the community, or is it happening in the meetings, or is it, are you saying the overall tone that people are with the general issues here?
Oh, probably with very difficult issues in which people on both sides of the fence and in between are very passionate. We need to just keep respecting each other and treating each other civilly and coming to a mutual decision.
We may not always agree, but it's important for us to listen to each other, right?
Yes, yes.
If we all thought the same, it'd be a pretty boring world.
Yes,
yeah.
that is true.
So what are some of the challenges for the supervisors right now for the county? What would you say are a couple of the big issues that we might be dealing with?
Well, I think overall one of the biggest challenges that I have come to see at the county level is the way the laws are made in Sacramento and the way they are enforced here by the I won't use the word bureaucrats, okay, because that's rather derogatory, I think, but the state officials who come to enforce the various laws here. Many of the lawmakers and those enforcement officials really have a distinctly apparent lack of knowledge about the more impoverished rural counties, the natural resource-based counties, and what we deal with here. Mm-hmm. And that's been a real challenge to make them understand and not be so heavy-handed in their enforcement. Mm-hmm. So some of the big issues that we face at the county level, and of course the city jurisdictions have some of the same issues, but they have very different demographics and very different ways of approaching them. I think one of our biggest issues is cannabis, the illicit cannabis growing that is taking place on the unincorporated areas of the county, mm-hmm, in ways that are absolutely devastating to our environment, to our wildlife, and to our neighborhoods, mm-hmm, and the way of life of the other homeowners there. Mm-hmm. It's a horrific issue that we have got to get under control.
So looking to develop some ordinances in order to control those things right now? What are the strategies right now, right?
We have ordinances, but some people don't realize that. We need help from the federal officials, and we need more help from the state officials, from the State Water Board, the Department of Fish and Wildlife. We need help at the federal level from the DEA to come in and help our sheriff and our code enforcement officials eradicate this, or at least to an extent that will deter the other black market growers from coming here and doing this. There are jurisdictions that are embracing commercial cannabis activities. So those folks who want to participate need to go there and stop doing that here.
Okay. Find a place where they're embracing that type of activity.
Yeah, but no jurisdiction will embrace the horrible pesticides and the violating of local law. So.
Well, how about some of the things on the upside? What are some?
Let's talk about the exciting things. Yes. The great things. So the county needs a new jail. As you know, the offenders from the city and anywhere in the county make use of our jail. We had 2 shots at a sales tax increase, which were not adopted. So the really good news is that we still have the ability to capture $27 million that is available to us from the state to build a new jail. We now believe that we have found a road to do that, and that is using our existing juvenile detention facilities and expanding on that facility. Our most recent move has now been to make a formal request to the state prison authority to allow us to extend the time to revamp our draft project and to build up to 160 beds at that facility. And I think they will allow us to extend the time frame to allow us to keep that $27 million and use that facilities. We have to figure out what to do with our youth offenders, but our wonderful personnel at the jail and at the probation department, they have some ideas for that. So maybe we can get there, and that's very exciting. Some
different strategies to work with the youth.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and any other happy news on the horizon for us, or anything we're looking to in the future?
Well, I think we need to just keep our government machine rolling. We are our resources are scarce, but we have some excellent employees at the county level, and working with them has been a wonderful thing. I think we need some more economic development here, so that I hope we can all work together. We're starting to talk about agritourism. Our economic base are our farmers and our ranchers, and many of them are coming to us and saying we want to expand what we do at our ranches, and if we can do that in an intelligent way, I think we can boost the economic base for the county in that fashion. So we're starting to talk about that, so that's very exciting.
Great strategy for what we have as far as people in our communities.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, lots of great things happening at the supervisor level, huh?
I think so.
Well,
yes.
Thank you for your service.
Oh,
I like to support community, but politics is a whole other ball game, so
Yes,
I really honor you for stepping up and taking the position, and wishing you all the best in your rookie season, right? We'll call it your rookie season.
Exactly.
Right?
Thank you.
And
I hope
again,
I can make a positive difference.
And thank you for all you're doing right now.
Thank you, Cindy.
All right, so let's bring on the mayor of Yreka. I have known Miss Joan Smith for many, many years. I knew Joan when she was actually a supervisor here in Siskiyou County, right, Joan?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you again. And Joan now is the mayor of Yreka.
Yes, I am.
And you took that position on. What inspired you to take on that job recently?
Well, I was approached by a group of citizens that knew that I was retired from the Board of Supervisors. I have my own business. My name now is Joan Smith Freeman.
Oh, I forgot that.
I apologize. Yes, that's okay. And a group of people came to me and asked me if I would be interested in running, and I thought about it, and I ran and I won. And it's been a wonderful 2 years, and I'm now the mayor for the rest of this year and next year until the following November, December, when we have our election, and then the next people take place. take their places. So I'm enjoying it. It's been challenging, as always, but I'm really enjoying it. I would always rather be part of the solution than part of the problem.
So what are you finding are some of the key differences in what you're doing as far as a supervisor and a mayor? There's got to be a whole different feel to that,
It's
right?
totally different. It's similar in that, you know, you have your constituency and you have your area. It's much smaller than supervisor in that it doesn't cover as much area and the issues are a little different. However, we're both doing cannabis, the marijuana issues that are coming down from the state and we're dealing with locally. That's been a challenge. We've had the first reading of our ordinance. We'll have our second reading on September 7th. We're working also with the city of Mount Shasta and some other cities regarding, they have Team Shasta working on homelessness. That's a huge issue in our county. Much larger in bigger cities, but it's still a big issue here. And we're working with Dr. Marbut, who is a wonderful consultant. He's come and he's worked with us at the city's level as well as the county. And we have a plan and we're following through on that plan. In fact, we're having a meeting on Thursday and we're making our first steps. It's a plan to deal with homelessness within all the agencies as well as all the nonprofits.
Okay.
So this is too big an issue for any one entity to take on, much too large. So we're dealing with it integrally with all of the groups. We're integrating, behavioral health is taking on some of the mental health issues. You know, we're taking on some of the city issues. The county has been wonderful in stepping up to the plate and helping out as well as the other cities. The most important thing is for us all to be on the same page and all to be doing the same thing at the same time so that we don't have people flock from one city to another. And we need to be consistent and that's what we're working on.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Well, yeah, because that means everybody, you know, nobody is going off in a different direction and, you know, together we can all solve a lot of issues, right?
Even the Forest Service has concerns because of fire, of course.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue down in Ventura, where I help with a newspaper down there. They continually set the railroad trestle on fire accidentally because it's a homeless encampment area. So there are serious issues.
Right. We've had fires to the north of town, fires to the south of town, and you know some of them are related to encampments, and so we're dealing with that.
So personally, what are some of your challenges?
Oh, other than homelessness and marijuana? Well, of course, the main reason that I decided to take this position was to improve where we live. I believe that Siskiyou County and Yreka, California is just one of the best places in the world to live. I'm an Air Force brat. I've traveled all over the world and I still think that this is the best place in the world to live. And my goals are always to make sure that whatever we do keeps the integrity of the small town feel and making people feel welcome, the beauty and the history of the local area.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Joan. It's really nice to have somebody in such a political leadership role that has that agenda.
Thank you.
Yes. So what are we looking ahead at? What's some of the good news that we're looking at the future for right now?
Well, one of the things that we've been talking about is that there are some issues with Minor Street, as you know. So one of my goals, and some people like this, the business people seem to like this, maybe some won't, but to make Minor Street a one-way street. So when you come up, and it'll be wider, and the restaurants will be able to have outdoor seating, and it won't be, because as you know, you can only park on one side of the street now.
Right.
So if you make it a one-way street and then, you know, have a loop back around to Main Street, we feel that that would be really nice. And also, the city provides, we pay for 50% of any structural work, painting work, signs, whatever, on the front of any of the streets up and down Minor Street.
Really?
The reason we do that is that we had a wonderful man who gave us money that said you can use this money in any way that will make Minor Street look nicer. And so we've been doing that. So most recently, the Rex Club, as you know, right there on the corner. Oh, watch out.
Jenna.
Things are falling.
Yreka went down.
Anyway,
Jenny will get that here in just a second.
anyway, what's your
Sorry about that. That's all real TV. I'm glad it didn't bunk it. Jenna, no, it's fine. Just stick it back up. You don't have to get it.
Oh, okay.
She'll be fine.
Maybe you can cut that out.
Jenna with production. It makes it more real. We're okay.
All right. This is Yreka. Anyway, Troy Davis just came before our city council at the last meeting or the meeting before, I think, and he had some ideas of some things to do with the front and the side of the Rex Club, which, as you know, as you come into town on the central exit, that's the first thing that you see.
Yeah.
So he's got some great ideas with that. He's putting money into it. We will be reimbursing him half of that up to a certain amount, and other businesses up and down the street have used that as well. And so the whole idea is just to make it more aesthetically pleasing, a nicer place, but also just to retain the old gold, gold miner feel to the town.
Did you have something?
Yeah, Joan, I have a question. That
Sure.
facade improvement fund, is that a revolving fund that will be perpetual, or is it limited?
It can't be revolving if nobody pays it back. We're giving money, they're not giving it back. But if they wanted to give it back to us, that would be great. Right now, we're on the downhill slide of that. We've been giving that money away now for about 5 years or more. And so, yeah, it will run out at some point. But if people wanted to donate to that, that would be wonderful.
Now, is this optional for the business owners, or do they fill out an application,
Yes.
or how does this happen? Do you approach them, or how does this work?
It's optional. We let them know that the program is there, and if they would like to apply for it, there's a form to fill out. They fill out the form, and they come before the city council and let us know what they want to do. Because half of that money is, well, they pay 100%, that we reimburse up to half, up to a certain amount of money.
Okay. Some beautiful beautification happening downtown.
Yes, yes.
My friend owns Jupiter Salon, going from Broadway to Minor Street. It's
Right.
just an incredible change.
Yes.
And the buildings there are just phenomenal, just looking at them. I mean, if anybody hasn't taken a walk down Minor Street recently, please do that. That in and of itself is a beautiful adventure. Back in time, there are so many markers and everything that tell about the wonderful history. Buildings that were here and gone again and built back again, and we've had fires and everything. But
right. And there's a gentleman here in town, I think Karl knows his name, that will take people, pardon?
we'll get
Gary
to
Nelson and another gentleman that will take people on tours, and Karl will tell you all about that from the chamber in just a moment.
Okay. Well, Joan, anything else as far as things that you would like to talk about that are happening, specifically goals for your community right now?
One of the goals is, from the very beginning when I was elected, we had some issues with our I don't want to call it a dog pound, our animal shelter.
Okay.
And so we're working on that. We think that we've got a really good solution.
Oh.
It's going to take a little bit of time, and we're working on it now, and we're looking for some funding for it. But yes, it's going to be much better. You're going to be very pleased. I'd love to take you out on a tour of it when we get it done.
We can do that.
That'd be great.
Okay. Well, Joan, thanks for your time today. Thanks for
Thank
all that
you.
you're doing here for the city of Yreka.
Thank you.
Speaking of Karl, why don't we get Karl in the hot seat
Come
now?
on
Let's
over,
have everybody
Karl.
slide down.
Between us.
Yeah, there you go.
This is very Johnny Carson.
It is. It's been thank you.
Tonight show, but this is the Today Show.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all of you really for coming today and sitting in our little cozy chairs here.
Thanks for
Okay,
having us.
so now we have Karl Greiner.
Wasn't a comedian always last?
He is the executive director of the Yreka Chamber of Commerce, and has a lot going on in town as well. You mainly, well, I know that you have a lot to do with the tourism and promotion of the community,
correct.
as well as the community events, right?
Right.
So let's talk a bit about your calendar and what you're doing.
What I've done or what I'm doing?
Well,
Sometimes it's always blurred together. Well, we just finished up with the fair. We had a promotional where you get people would put their business card in a little jar and gave them 5 days of the fair. And when we, purchased a booth, and we had our name on the booth, we had brochures, our new brochures that we gave out, but it was the person who got one that day would tell them about their product. Women's in Business was there, CASA was there one day, and a couple of small businesses that, really couldn't afford to be at the fair. Gives them an opportunity to at least let people know what's going on at the fair.
Right.
So for 5 days, we have somebody in the booth which means that 5 days I don't have to be in, so
Well,
it's better. You know?
Yeah, good for you, but a win-win for them.
It
Because
is
like you
very
said,
good,
you know, I
yes.
mean,
It was
you know,
wonderful.
the chamber is supporting the local businesses, you know?
Exactly, that-
And so.
That is our job.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. And, you know, although we'd all like to be able to go and have representation there at the fair, it is quite expensive, you know? So what a wonderful opportunity for the business owners,
Yep.
the business members of your chamber.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's part of the benefit package. When you join the Chamber of Commerce, you get all kinds of different benefits, you know, our online advertising, a chance to be on our, you know, our Facebook advertising, all the different media outlets that we get to go on, things like that. So you know, it's part of their benefit package, in other words. It's just part of their, they join the chamber, they become part of the community, they become part of the process in the community, and they get input on what do you want, what would you like to change, what ideas do you have? I mean, no one has every idea. You always have to get input from someone to say, "What? Have you ever tried this? Have you ever tried that?"
You get in some collaborative business development.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
And you know, you give them what they want.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause that's what they're paying for.
So we've got some big events coming up, right?
We do. My big car show I put on Siskiyou in September, which is at the fairgrounds again this year.
Okay.
It's coming up September 16th,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to be a really big show. I've got people coming. I've got people coming from Washington, Oregon, Idaho. I've had people in, of course, California, Nevada. So we get a pretty good group. I have connections through the car shows I put on in different parts of the county. That what I do is I send out these mass emails to all the car clubs. And then they get them, and then they print out their flyers, and the members get to go, and they get a caravan going. I got quite a few cars coming out of Klamath Falls this year.
Oh.
So the more people hear about the show, the more people come to the show, the more so this is a great place to have a show. Because the fairgrounds is a great place to have
Siskiyou
anything.
Golden Fairgrounds is
Exactly.
a great place to have
So
it.
that's coming up next, and then I have the I just going to help put on the Fallen Heroes Memorial Rides coming in, and that's going to be coming in on the 23rd, same weekend as the Balloon Fair.
Right, right.
And that's going to bring 300 riders or more from all over the western states to come and do this Fallen thing, which will benefit the New Weed Fallen Heroes Memorial. It's going to be a poker run, and there's a lot of sponsorship involved. There's a lot of different, sponsored by 3 Harley dealerships, Chico, Redding, and Southern Oregon. So it's going to bring a lot of people in there, so that's a big one coming up. Plus, then I have my, or we have our, I can't say mine, but anyway, we have our Holiday Dinner Dance, which is going to be a 50s theme this year.
Okay.
So it's all going to be rock and roll.
Saka.
It's going to be a rock and roll thing.
Okay.
So this is going to be a rockin' Christmas.
All right.
So we're going to have that coming up, and then, like I said, you know, we have that, then the holiday parade comes,
yeah,
and then the Night of Lights,
Yeah.
and then after that we'll do the Citizen of the Year banquet, which this year will be in end of January to try to keep away from other events.
yeah,
Because
right.
boy, starting in February, it's like one week after another week. There's always something going on.
Right, right.
A lot of fundraisers for the summertime stuff, you know. So, and then our February 9th will be our yearly Business Expo yearly meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, which I got some ideas. I'm not gonna say right now.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
There's gonna be some
Some
different
teasers.
ideas. Something go up there. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's gonna be different this year.
So you went from city manager to chamber, right?
No.
City.
City
I
council.
was city council.
Oh, city council.
I went
Okay.
from city council, and then I've been doing some work for the city. You know, been running the theater for them. Ran the Siskiyou. Well, it wasn't Siskiyou. It was Channel 4.
Yes. At the yep.
For about 4 lovely long years. We did that, and then we talked about the idea and came in with maybe, you know, so giving it to Siskiyou Media Partners. It wasn't called Siskiyou Media Partners, but it was the same group.
Yeah.
And then that gave me the opportunity to have a little bit more time, which gave me the opportunity to work, be the theater manager. So now I'm the community theater manager, which helps facilitate the community theater.
Oh.
So when in my spare time,
Yeah.
in my spare time, that's what I do. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, also in your spare time, you do a little driving.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that just for a second,
Oh,
because
yeah,
that's some good stuff.
Actually, you can talk for about 10 seconds. But anyway, yes, I race when I can on the weekends. Yeah, when I can take off. So.
And cheer.
I drag race. Yes, I do. I've been doing it since
Quarter mile, is it?
Quarter mile, since
And
1968.
super stock? What is
It's
it?
called pro.
Pro. See, I got some words in there. I'm not a racing person,
Yeah.
but I keep track with you on
Yeah.
Facebook, and you got first in.
Yep, this weekend too. I haven't posted it yet, but also this weekend also. First and a second this weekend. So it puts me quite a ways ahead of the points now.
So you got a lot of trophies, but it's kind of an expensive hobby when they break and see if you had
It
something.
is. I am lucky enough to have enough sponsors
Uh-huh.
to help me. Lucas Oil
Uh-huh.
is my major sponsor. Lithia Dodge, and there's a few others that throw in a little bit here and there. So it's not a profitable business by any stretch of it, but you know it's fun.
Where's your favorite place to race?
Right now, my favorite place to race is over at Samoa
Okay.
because it's 65 degrees.
Oh, there you go.
And tomorrow will be 65, and next month it'll be 65.
Yeah.
They're Reading at 100, and I raced in Reading where it was 114 and it was 148 degrees inside the car.
Oh.
That was definitely, it's a good thing I only run for 10 seconds.
Wow.
So I can
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah. And I actually am starting to back away a little bit on that. You know, I'll start doing a little bit more, a little bit less as because it's just, you know, I'm getting at a bad age now where if I'm not excited about what I do and I'm saying I can't wait to go, or I'm saying, oh, that's right, I got to be there, then it might be time for me to back off a little.
Well, plus when you're on top and number one.
Yeah, you
Oh yeah,
always want to go out
and that's the
on
whole
top,
thing
isn't
too.
it?
If I happen to win the championship, it would be a good time to exit.
Yes.
Well, I was. No.
But there's another event that is not
Did I miss
by
it?
the chamber, no, but it's done by the local Yreka Rotary.
Okay.
And that's the Siskiyou Century.
That's right, the Siskiyou.
And that's a big event. We bring a lot of people
Yes.
out from, you know, coming down from Southern Oregon as well as up from San Francisco and other areas. And that's the weekend following Labor Day weekend.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's the 10th, isn't it?
And 6th or the
Ninth?
10th or the 9th, it's that
Yeah,
first weekend after the.
Yeah, it's first weekend after. Yeah. So.
And it's out of the fairgrounds, and it's a 100-mile
Yes.
century, but there's also like a 30-mile loop. There's smaller loops and a 60-mile loop. So we encourage anyone to come out, of course, for your health as well as for fun, and hopefully the weather will hold out and be nice.
And it won't be smoky.
Right.
Yeah. Smoky's not good.
Carl, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your work with the Chamber. I think Chambers of Commerce help make communities a wonderful place to live. It's a quality of life
You know,
thing.
and you can tell I enjoy it. I really do. You know,
And you
all
work
the years
hard.
I was in business, and you know, in the city, and then being on the chamber board for 8 years with
Right.
Master Mark,
Right.
you know, I learned, you know, and it's a tool, and it's an important tool, but you got to be passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it,
That's right.
you know, that's the whole thing. In other words, I get up in the morning, I go to work, and I think, what can I change now? What can I do? What can I bring to the thing? And that's, as long as it stays like that, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Good.
It's all
It's all
good.
good for everybody.
And thank you for all your good work.
Oh,
You've
thank
done a
you.
really good job.
Thank you.
This year's Gold Rush Days, I think, was the best ever.
It was hugely
wonderful.
attended, yeah. And there was a lot of people there. When people come up to me and say, you know, it's too crowded, I went,
That's
That's a
problem.
bad problem. That's a good problem
I'm
to
sorry.
have.
No, but no, it was very well attended. I brought a new person in, Dr. Solar.
Dr.
And
Solar
he was
awesome.
great. And the medicine show, and people loved it. The kids loved it. I mean, he was just a good showman. So I'll have something new next year.
Well, you don't want to hint to
Oh,
that
no,
because everybody
no.
had to answer with the coming up news.
Oh no, this is not. That's
Okay.
too. That's the.
That's too specific.
That's anything over 90 days is kind of
Keep it
fluid.
under your hat.
Just keep it fluid. Yeah.
Yeah, I know how that works.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all the work that you're doing to help support
I
the
appreciate it,
community.
yeah.
You know, all of
I
the-
appreciate these two too.
Yeah.
We support you. You do a
The
great
city,
job.
the city supports the chamber a lot, and the the supervisors.
Volunteer.
Every once in a while, I'll go to a supervisor meeting, and I'm glad I never ran for supervisor. No, I know. But yeah, no, we're all about serving. You know,
That's right.
you know, so that's what it's all about, is serving the community you
Serving.
live in. I mean, you got to live here to understand what it needs.
Yeah, and I'm so glad I was able to get all of you here on the show today. I mean, it's such a wonderful representation. Thank you for your time. And thank you for all this wonderful information that you're sharing on our show with the community. That's what it's all about, Siskiyou News and Views, you know? Just giving people a little insight into all the lives and the happenings around
Well,
Siskiyou
thank
County.
you for having us today.
We're glad to have you on board, Cindy.
Yes,
With
thank
your
you, Cindy.
enthusiasm and passion,
All
it'll
right.
be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
So we got a couple things. We always do a word of the day. The word of the day that we have today is called extra mundane. Now, does anybody know what that means?
Well, mundane is pretty plain, and extra mundane must be.
Definite sleeper.
Now, see, that's what I would have thought, but it actually means outside or beyond the physical world. Isn't that interesting?
Wow, it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like see. That's why we And so we also do a positive saying for the day, and so we'll let you guess who said this. Okay, optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you.
I think that's a Karl Greiner quote.
No, but if there's royalties involved, I'll take it.
It's a great one. Who said
It's
it?
a great one.
Olympic star Mary Lou.
Oh my!
Oh,
I'll be darned.
But it's so true.
Isn't it true? And it's what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Because we are good people come together. We have all known each other for many years and through many different facets of serving the community, right? And that's how I was able to, invite you guys and be here, because it is through serving opportunities that I have met all of you. And I thank you for all that you've done in the past. I thank you for all that you're doing now, and bless everyone for everything that you're doing in the future, because it's all wonderful support that's to our citizens and our local communities. So thank you guys. We do close the show by singing happy birthday to everybody who's had a birthday in the last week. So everybody gets hats.
Oh my!
And
The question is, do we have to wear them?
yep, everybody's got to wear them.
Okay.
On the first show, I had a picture of Cliff and Barbara in these hats from 8 years ago.
Oh my.
And so we're having a before and after on our Facebook, okay? So on one, let's everybody look in the front camera right here, and on the count of three, we're all gonna sing happy birthday. Everybody ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear sister. Everybody's had a birthday. Happy birthday to you. Well, that's it for us this week. We'd like to thank our guests, Karl Greiner from the Chamber, Joan Freeman from the City Mayor's Office, and also Lisa Nixon, District 4 County Supervisor. Thank you, everybody, for your time. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, world. Here,
Thank you, everyone.
recycle those, will you?
You just wanted to make us look crazy.
Recycle those,
Bring
please.
us down to earth.
Okay, Cindy, that was not.